And I think you got a very interesting story to tell. So
Yeah, I do.
let's
Yeah.
tell it.
Yeah. Well, you know, I gave up on music about 15 years ago. Obviously, I was in a relationship, wanted to start my family.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Um, went through my marriage, taking care, home, family, just living life, counseling kids. I always had a passion for the youth, encouraging them, uplifting them to do better. You know what I mean? Because we losing so many kids, and right now today is worse. Um, for some reason, man, during the pandemic, 2020 hit.
Mm-hmm.
I started having these urges to create music. Didn't know where it came from. I was very content and comfortable at home, taking care of my kids and working. Watching my son play football and raising my babies. But it hit.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't stop writing, and then I felt God speaking to me. And the feeling I had was finish.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't understand. I thought it was like maybe ministry. Should I finish doing something with that? And then it came, use your music to speak.
Mm-hmm.
So I just started being obedient, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I took a leap out there and started creating music, and then I put a record out, Colors. It was something impactful. I wanted to speak some life into people, try to unify people at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Most people hear the record and be like, "Oh, Colors, what is this about? You bashing people or a certain demographic, whatever." You know what I mean? And it wasn't. It was more so uniting people and giving different opinions about colors. You know what I mean? I did that, and then that desire got stronger,
Mm-hmm.
and I started running with music. When I started doing that, my marriage was in shambles, and my wife and I end up separating. I don't want to go too deep,
Mm-hmm.
but we just didn't see eye to eye at times, and then I started feeling like, Dad, I'm trying to compromise a lot. I'm working, and I started helping at her family business.
Mm-hmm.
But then I started feeling like, Dag, I'm not accomplishing something for me. I'm not leaving a legacy for my kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I started feeling like I have other gifts too, what I mean, that I can bring to the table.
Yeah.
It just didn't work.
Tell me about that struggle, being a husband, being a father, knowing you have to provide, but then also having that itch, that drive. What was that balance like?
It was tough, man. I was ready to shut down again,
Mm-hmm.
but I was trying to find balance. Hey, I work, counseling, and then I assist, working other business just to show, I'm a team player. But I couldn't give up this time on just letting the music go completely because I kept doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I start, quit, and you and sis know we've had meetings,
Yeah.
and I'll start. Next thing you know, you won't hear from me for 5 or 6 months, and then I'll call again. I'm feeling it, and next thing you know, I'm gone again. You know what I mean? And it's like I couldn't be consistent
Mm-hmm.
because I wanted my wife, I wanted my family. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And my divorce was just final in November, but my heart still was in my marriage. You know what I mean? Like I didn't want it, but I couldn't fight it either.
Mm-hmm.
But I started looking back like, hey, I'm a little more happier too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Let's take a step back to the beginning, right? So we understand that you have that passion for music, but that's been a lifelong passion.
Right.
So
Right.
let's talk about what drove your music, drove your the essence of who you were as an artist back then, teenage years,
Right.
20s.
Right,
Because,
right.
I mean, you were on Apollo, right?
Yeah. I was on Apollo. Yeah.
Like let's talk about
Yeah,
music.
yeah. Okay.
Early life.
The early life, man. I was on Apollo. Well, let me go further back.
Mm-hmm.
I met MC Light when I was 5. I ended up doing a show for her, well, performing with her, at 5. So rapping picked up then, but I was also dancing, you know what I mean, at the same time. So at 9, I tried out for the Apollo and I won. And I ended up going to the Apollo and I won 3 times and went back as a special guest. When I went back as a special guest, a lady named Leah Wilcox, she works for the NBA. She invited me to perform at the halftime show for the All-Star game.
Wow. You know what year that was?
That was in 1991.
Wow.
So in 91, I did that halftime show there, and I hung out with Will Smith. So my mom was pregnant at the time with my little sister. So she couldn't take me to like the Rock and Jock basketball games and all the other events.
Yeah.
But Will Smith, people know Carlton from the show, they took me to every event. You know what I mean? And, told my mom, that I was in good hands.
Yeah.
So she let me go. So, I mean, she knew who they were, obviously. Yeah. But I got to hang with those guys. And I built a good relationship with Will Smith even after that. But it was a great experience, man, as a kid. Hanging with groups like The Boys and Little Richard. You know what I mean? A ton of different people, I just hung out with during that weekend. But after that was over with, I would have conversations with Will Smith, man. And he was a really good dude, you know what I mean? Just encouraging me to stay focused in school, giving me advice, you name it. So, coming up as a kid, man, I was always involved in something thanks to my mom, but dancing was my thing at that time. I transitioned over to more rapping again when I was 12. And I had a situation with Motown, in the 7th grade. I was a knucklehead. Then they were checking on your grades and everything else. Today, they want you to be wild and crazy. And you know what I mean? We're at a different time today. But, I wasn't in the right space, man. And I was supposed to do a commercial for Coca-Cola. And I wish my dad was here, man. He talk about it all the time. I messed up in school. And they end up giving that commercial to Tyrese. So if you look at Tyrese when he first started, he did a Coca-Cola commercial. And they actually wanted me to jump and do that. You know what I mean? But I was kind of acting out at the time.
Yeah. So tell me about that transition from being in music so early on, as a elementary school age,
right.
Middle and high school age, and what that transition was into the community work. What was that bridge between your youth and then you want to get back to the youth?
Right. Well, I'm going to throw this out there. When I got to the 9th grade, it was a show called Teen Summit. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
Yes.
Well, my group, we performed on there, on Teen Summit. And we did well. Jermaine Dupri wanted to sign us, after performing on there. When we got back, I started seeing a lot of changes in people. The crime rate started going up. And I started thinking, me and the guys, like, our name Divine Sons, divine mean God, you know what I mean? Like, what can we do to be able to inspire and uplift people? And I was like, maybe we can go in the neighborhoods and like, just talk to the kids, you know what I mean? Do some things, you know what I mean? Just so they can know it's other outlets, you know what I mean? I grew a passion for the youth, then, you know what I mean? In high school, I took it real serious once I graduated. I started working at after-school programs for Henrico Mental Health and the Boys and Girls Club. Just because I got tired of the violence. I lost a cousin. I lost a few friends to gun violence. And I wanted change. So at 21, I wrote a letter to the mayor, to Doug Wilder. Told him, we wanted to put on a community event, awareness of stopping crime. He didn't respond right away, but then I went to the news, me and the guys. He saw it was something serious. I had braids, so I couldn't, I popped up at City Hall looking like a, like a hoodlum. I had long braids and Tim boots. I wasn't really into dressing up and kind of, being professional about this whole thing. My heart was in the right place. But, they end up responding, man, and helped us put on this event, to prevent crime in the city. from there, man, my passion for the youth, it was strong. You know what I mean? And today is the same. For some reason, I feel like it may be worse with the youth. But we here to create some type of change, and that's why I'm here. You know what I mean?
So that's your why?
That's it. Yeah. The reason I'm doing music is to show them a different way out, man. You know, the image that they portraying right now is that you have to be a murderer, a killer, sell drugs. Women have to show their body. You know what I mean? The only way you can get money is through OnlyFans for people. You know, I got kids, you know, that live in the suburbs, man. You know, they coming outside like they raised in the hood. You know nothing about it. You know what I mean? I tell these young dudes, man, people they're gonna test you, man. You don't have to do that because that's what you see on TV. That's what they forcing on us right now. They forcing it. You know, and right now it's like I feel like I want to take a stand. There's nothing wrong with being cool, but there's something wrong with forcing this agenda on our people. There's more ways to make music. There's more ways to rap without saying I'll blow your brains out. You know what I mean? And I'm smoking on your body. But this is being repeated to our kids. So now today, when you look at our youth, it's like they walking around like they ready to kill you. And now that, you know, due to Corona, they wear these masks and stuff over their face. And it's like it's like, I don't know, it looks weird to me. And look, I love the kids. I get it. I've been young, so I followed the trends when I was a kid. But when I look at it now, it's like it's a setup. You know, and then they stereotype us anyway. You feel me? So, man, you know, just here to show the kids, man, just be you, be yourself, be authentic. You know, and don't try to follow what the world is giving you, because it's a lot of poison out here.
What's the main message you want the kids to take away from your music? What do you want them to walk away with? What do you want anyone to walk away with when they hear your music?
Be true to yourself. Speak life into people. I'd rather speak truth than death. And you got to understand, if we speak more life into the world, we got the power to change the world. Obviously, right now, there's a lot of negative things that are being driven right now. So we feel that. So the crime rate go up. You know what I mean? If we put more love out there, people gonna love each other. You know what I mean? And music moves people in different ways. You know, you can hear a love song and, hey, I'm gonna take my lady out. I want to make love. You know, I know when I was young, I would hear a record. Master P or Pastor Troy made me feel some type of way. I'm being honest. So I can understand like how music can, you know, influence people. You know, so just want to influence them in the right direction. That's all, man. And not saying, hey, be soft, don't talk about certain things, because I was raised in the hood. I know what it's like, you know, to see a dead body in the creek and crackheads running around. But I want it better. And just because you're in that environment doesn't mean you can't achieve anything or do better in life. You know what I mean? So just doing better, you know.
How do you feel like you can connect your message and your music with the current generation to drive more positive influence?
Just being lyrical, but understanding them at the same time, not condemning them or pointing the finger. You know, can't do that. You know, kids gonna be kids. I mean, shoot, we got some adults that's being kids right now. You know what I mean? So just trying to relate to them in a way where they can understand the story and still make fun records too. But it's always some type of message in the music. So if you hear me rapping hard or saying something, you have to listen close, because it's something I'll drop in there. But you got to listen. And it's just all about the wordplay. That's all.
How did your experience as a husband and a father translate into your messaging and your music now?
I want to put this out there. Me being divorced, it's not a bad thing. Right now, me and my ex, we have a great relationship. Now, it's weird. No, it's not weird. It's not weird. Because we had a relationship before we got married. That was my friend. So just because we are not married does not mean we can't be friends. We were not meant to be married. You know what I mean? She made me a better person. The way I eat, I think a lot more before I react. I feel like she helped shape me into the man I am, along with God. You know what I mean? She definitely played a big role in my life. And I love her. You know, I love her. You know what I mean? And we're going to always be close, you know? Yeah.
For people who actually hear your music, what is it that you want them to know about you from your music?
I'm just real. I'm honest. I'm open. You know, I don't hide anything. I'll tell you my story. I wasn't the best person. I tell you my struggles. I'm an open book, you know, and hopefully I can, inspire someone and reach someone, whatever it may be. I just like to put my music out there in a way where people can relate to it. You know, if you're talking about my kids, if it's my relationship, if it's about the struggles I dealt with, you know. I talked to my dad this morning, man, and I had wrote a record about it. And my pops know, you know, coming up, me and my pops didn't have the best relationship. You know, my pops was a DJ, and, you know, he stayed on the go. And this was like that for years. My dad is my best friend, though. You know what I mean? So to talk about forgiveness, because you never know what God could do, you know what I mean? But like that's like my best friend. My mom and my pops is my best friends, you know what I mean? But my mom's, you know, she been there. But my pops, to see the transition he made and how we interact, I can go on about that story, you know what I mean? But
do you think seeing your father's journey as a DJ and him on the road working, do you think they rub off from you and your drive to constantly push it to music?
Somewhat. You know, I mean, he still DJs now because it's something that he loves. You know what I mean? He poured up out here, brought all his stuff out here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, because he didn't quit. I quit. You know what I mean? I gave up. And I shouldn't have. But I was designed to be here at this moment, at this time, to do whatever God want me to do, you know?
What's something that you're willing to share with the people, with the world, about you that they will not learn from your music?
Sometimes I'm still afraid of failing because I feel like I may have failed my kids. You know, I got 3 older kids with my high school sweetheart, and that didn't work. And me and their mom supposed to got married. And then I got married, and then I got 2 kids, and they experiencing what my first set of kids experienced. Excuse me.
What's happening right now? What are you working on right now that you want to share with the world?
I put out Ice Cold, like a series on social media, IG, Facebook, just so I could show people like some diversity of where I'm going, where I'm at musically. So I did a couple records just to show some balance. I'm getting ready to actually go into like some freestyle records over other people's tracks. It's called Jack Boy Season, where I take a random person beat and just rap over it and make it mine. And I'm going into my first single, March 25th, and then I'm gonna drop my mixtape in April. Then I'm running from there. Consistency is key. You know, now I'm consistent. Thanks to my brother behind the camera, he's been getting me through it and to be able to get everything out. You know what I mean? And once I started rolling, I kept rolling, and now I can't stop. You know what I'm saying? And I won't stop until I reach my goal. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
is there another, outside of the music, is there another talent or another method that you've thought about to connect with the youth and get your message out there? Some of those ways?
Yeah. I have 2 artists. One is Rule, and then Mo Music. And I have
Shout out to Mo.
Yeah.
And Rule, same
Both of them rolling on the radio. Mo playing on Power now, getting some spins and some big things coming up. You know,
And
so
Rule is dope.
yeah. Rule is moving. Everything is looking good. But, you know, developing them and working with them and putting them in a good situation where they can, you know, take off. That's all I wanted. And, you know, they have a great team. We all have a great team behind us. I actually got my guy Dre. You know, he has a funnel cake business. And I told him, you know, years ago, I wanted him to rap. You know, I believe in him. You know what I mean? He's a great person. And I actually got him on the record with me about 2 weeks ago. And now he's itching again. So he's going to drop something in April. So it's all about, you know, motivating people, man. And, you know, I feel like even with Dre, you know, we met so much, had breakfast, we meeting at different places. I think while I was going through my divorce, it may have, I guess, discouraged him a little bit because I wasn't motivated. You know what I mean? So now, you know, bro get to see me moving around and doing stuff. And now I'm encouraging him, like, I know you have your business, but you have a gift. I mean, he can write, you know, not just rapping. I mean, he's really dope, you know what I mean? So I'm just getting out here, man, and engaging with people and getting them to use their art for something great without talking about shoot 'em up, bang, bang, kill. All day long. That's all. You may talk about certain stuff here and there, and that's okay. But it's more to it than that. You know what I mean?